maybe have you film a takeoff, and then I want to show you a takeoff, because I want to, you know, try to introduce you to this whole thing. And so, all right, so these are our settings right now. The ISO is at 100. Our auto shutter is clear off the fact because we've got so much light available. And in a perfect world for videography, I would put a neutral density filter on there to be able to bring the shutter speed down. But right now, I've got a pretty good exposure. We only have the highlights blown out on that house off in the distance. So, to launch a drone automatically, there's a little takeoff button over here. And we hold the button down when it appears on the screen, and our drone will automatically take off. So it does an auto takeoff. As I was showing Brycen, the left stick is a throttle. You push forward on it, you're giving it more throttle. You're pulling back, and you're giving it less throttle. You can go out to the right by moving the stick to the right, like that. You need to stay about 10 feet back from the drone, and I will not fly directly over the property until we have a little more crew coordination together. The right stick forward is going away from us. And so I'm in normal mode, but I just wanted to demonstrate how fast it is, and that's not sport mode. So you really have a lot of speed variance. I'm going to return the drone by yawing it back towards us. So what I'm doing now is just flying very, very slowly. You can move the selector switch in the middle of the remote to the left, and that's the tripod mode, which will slow down the movement of the drone and everything like that. So what I'm going to do now is bring the drone down, and we're going to move the gimbal down a little bit. That's located on the left side of the remote controller. And I will be calibrating these for the speed of the gimbal movement, both up and down, and then also left to right. So we have some control that we can do with gimbal calibration. So one of the fun things to do is come along, and we'll try to fly right along those plants sideways and do some video of the plants there. I'm changing the exposure compensation because we're going to be flying into the shadows here, and we'll be paralleling this bush with me flying sideways. I'm changing the gimbal because we're not going to be very high. So I'm framing the photo, and I'll just do some sidewise tracking. This is a very common setting in video. So I'm going to fly up to that, over the rose bush there. So we're going to rotate the drone like this, and then we're going to show you that the drone can move sideways. It can move away from us, or it can move in a parallax route. This is a demo for Brycen here.
really nice and slow, cinematic. What are you laughing at?
It almost ran into the tree.
I was actually playing with that a little bit just to see how good it was compared to my Mavic Classic as far as obstacles. But since I was moving a little bit sideways, it didn't pick up that tree at all. So I kind of had to do my version of emergency stop. On this drone, you can, anytime you want to freeze the drone, and I didn't do this, the left button here, you can just hit it and it'll do an emergency stop. I'm going into the sun. I've adjusted the exposure here so just the clouds are burned out. So see where we have the horizon right now? We have 2/3 of the scene below the horizon. We have 1/3 above. So it's kind of a classic type exposure. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to move just straight line forward. I always thought I might end up being a drone instructor. I'd been a flight instructor for years and years. In fact, I got my CFI right out of high school. I was actually teaching my high school teachers in June after I graduated. Went on to college, worked my way through college, flight instructing and flying charter. Later on, with the various airlines that I worked for, I was a check airman. With my major airline that I started with, I ended up being a flight engineer instructor and then a pilot check airman. So years of training, doing this kind of thing, and I'm amazed just how quickly Brycen could pick up this drone thing. When he was filming, I didn't think he was listening, but boy, he sure was. He did a really good job, and he actually brought the drone back in and then followed his own. You don't hear me talking. He just landed the drone just perfectly fine. Had no problem maneuvering it around, doing some of the combined moves that I had shown him, and he's a real quick study.